specialist here tonight. Excuse me. I am here to talk to you about a challenge that 65% of you are likely facing. 65% of you probably have this problem, and it's why you're not finding real happiness and fulfillment in romance. This is true whether you're single, whether you're in a situationship, especially if you're in a situationship, if you're dating, if you're engaged, if you've been married, if you've been married for 40 years, you probably have this problem. And if you don't, obviously, probably your partner does. 65% of adults in the Western world now have insecure attachment style. 65%. If 65% of adults at any given moment all had the flu, we would consider it a catastrophic destruction of the entire world. If 65% of adults had pretty much anything, we would consider it a devastating pandemic. 65% of adults in the Western world have insecure attachment. So what does this mean? It means that they are not able to give and receive love in a relationship in a way that feels safe and like it will continue for them. Okay? Disciple Sarah says, yikes. Exactly right. Yikes is the correct answer. 65%. So if you are one of the 1/3 of adults, estimated 1/3, I think it's less than that now, estimated 1/3 of adults in the Western world who's capable of securely bonding to others, odds are good the people around you, the people you love, the people you care for, the people you work with, maybe the people you're dating, maybe the person you're married to, odds are very good that they have insecure attachment style. Unfortunately, very, very good. This is why so many people in the dating pool continue to be miserable. The dating pool, by the way, is not made up of 65% insecure, 35% secure. The vast majority of securely attached people are out of the dating pool. You are probably looking at 95% insecure with maybe 5% secure whose spouses have passed away. That's more or less what you're looking for. Okay? So in the dating world, in the romance world, this is the variable that you need to be tracking. If you're going to track anything, this is it. You've seen the rise of ghosting. Everybody let me know. Have you guys seen ghosting, stonewalling, right? Have you seen lying? Have you seen manipulating? Have you seen people running from commitment? Have you seen people just endlessly pleasing others? Have you seen people be cold and distant and think that it makes them look smart and cool? Have you seen people who refuse to tell you what they're even looking for? Have you seen people who want to run screaming from the table the moment you even mention something like commitment in a relationship or a label? If you've seen any of that, give me a yes in chat. That's honestly the dating pool right now. People are so terrified of being in a relationship with another human being that they can't even begin the initial stages of a relationship. Did you know that 45% of Gen Z men have not ever asked out a woman? Almost half. And those guys are up to 25 years old, by the way. All of that, says Helen. Yes, says Marie. Am I forever broken, Arkian? No. Attachment styles change. This can change. This 65% demographic, this can shift. Yes, Helen says yes. She's seeing it too. Carol's saying yes. Weston, is that because there's no data in other parts of the world? Unfortunately, attachment science has not been studied very well outside of the Western world. Psychology itself is not studied that well outside the Western world. I'm not saying nobody else is studying it, but the Western world is obsessed with psychology, and the rest of the world largely is not. It's sort of there, and they're seeing a lot of what's happening to therapy culture destroying our culture as well. And a lot of other cultures rightly are staying the heck away from that. But psychology itself is, remember, still a newer science. It's maybe what, 140 years old, maybe maximum, depending on where you begin. Yes, your videos have changed my life. You've helped me become healthy and secure, but I enjoy staying refreshed. I'm glad you're here, Disciple Sarah. With discipline, people, this helps me stay balanced. That's the game. We have to stay balanced, but we have to continue growing in our relationships. It's humans, human connection that helps us regulate. I was just talking to a client yesterday. They have lived their entire life believing no one can ever help them or will help them, and that everyone around them will always make it worse. But what happened was, and get this, they lived a good life on the outside, but inwardly were terrified, scared, nervous, worried, violating their ethics, and endlessly binging on dopamine in a way that finally blew up in their face in their mid-50s. They had lived up until then a pretty darn good life on the outside with these dopamine binging episodes on the inside that no one could see. It never occurred to them that they could ever connect to another human being to get love, accountability, care, and they were married. They were married for this entire period of time, you guys. That's the trap that we fall into. In the Western world, we have come to believe that relationships are meaningless, that relationships are only an experience of dopamine, a transaction of dopamine, and that if we don't like the dopamine flavor we're getting or it runs out, we simply swap it for another one. This is true of romance, friendship, and even family. Human relationships now feel like completely replaceable and pointless candy bar wrappers. You throw it away. That's why 65% of people, it's got worse and worse and worse through the generations. And now most people in the modern generation can't even imagine a happy marriage that's actually happy on the inside, by the way. If it looks happy on the outside, they assume it's corrupt and miserable on the inside. Chat, there's a lot of you here right now. Do any of you believe that happy marriages exist? Give me a yes or no in chat right now. And be bluntly honest. Be brutally honest in this. Do you believe happy marriages exist in the Western world? Do you believe any of them exist? And I'm not asking intellectually, do you hypothesize there must be one? You, at your core, do you believe that happy marriages exist? Answer me that. I am going to remind you guys probably one last time. Black Friday is the special. I've been running it all week for people who said, Adam, I didn't get paid. Adam, I need one more day to think about it. Adam, I need this. Right? I wanted to take care of you guys. So one more time here, guys, probably the last time. I'm going to warn you down here, Black Friday, adamlanesmith.com/Black Friday. You can pick up my self-paced learning courses down here to transform your relationships and fix attachment, up to 60% off, and or assessments with me and my team and coaching up to 30% off. Do not miss those down here, guys. I don't want you to miss it. I don't want to get all those sad emails later that said, Adam, I didn't know. I've tried to tell you all along, okay? Yes, everyone's saying, okay, yes, happy marriages exist, but it's rare. Arkin says, there you go. My parents were an amazing example, 59 years. Love it. How are you doing with living out that blueprint now? Tell me that. I feel like a thrown away candy bar wrapper. I hear that, Ellen. I hear that. Okay. Attachment theory is more effective than 4 years of counseling, and that was disciplining. Sorry, 100%. 100%. Attachment theory is more effective than 4 years of counseling. I hear that. I had a client come to me the other day. Adam, I've been in therapy for 10 years, and I have to tell you, 4 sessions with you changed my life more than 10 years of therapy. I wish I could get those 10 years back. Michael, you inspired me to get into coaching after all I've learned from you about the neuroscience of attachment. It explains my childhood as well. I'm trying to help other men not fall into the same traps in life. I hear that loud and clear. I hear that loud and clear. Massage therapy. It says, oh, coaching. You know what, Michael? I am always on the lookout for good coaches. Depends where you're at in your process, but you're welcome to contact me and my team. We are always looking for people who want to take a step above and beyond and maybe become a coach. I will warn you, I am incredibly picky about the people that I'm bringing in. I don't hire just anyone. Usually we go through at least 100 candidates and I might select one or may say zero with each hiring iteration. I may say absolutely no to all 100 candidates. So don't take it personally if I don't, okay? But you're welcome to send in to support@adamlanesmith.com. Send in something, say, hey, I'm interested in coaching with you and with Adam or coaching for Adam. Let me know. Again, don't take it personally if I don't say yes. I got to say that right up front. Yes. Okay. So you guys do believe in healthy, secure marriages. I love this. Do you know how to build a healthy, happy marriage? Now give me a yes or no in chat. Do you know the exact variables to track, the exact blueprint for building that relationship, and then taking that relationship lifelong with fulfilling monogamy that prevents affairs or divorce, getting completely to the end of your life, fulfilled, joyful, with a shared legacy? Do you know the exact variables, the exact blueprint, and the exact skills that you need? Give me a yes or no in chat, please. Let me know. And that is real. There are exact things, okay? Give me a yes or no in chat on that one. I want to hear from you guys. Arkan, I've been binging your videos on masculinity. Love it. Hopefully you're checking out the I Wish You Knew podcast. That one has a tremendous amount of masculine material on it. Tremendous amount. I just had a beautiful conversation with a man yesterday in coaching who is more anxiously attached, whose wife is resentful and scared and doesn't feel safe in their relationship. And talking to him just about, look, you are already in you the kind of person you need to be, but you are so collapsed into pleasing others, into making others happy, into focusing on feelings for the next 5 minutes, into trying to get permission, and into believing that any kind of leadership is bad and wrong and hurtful, that you have collapsed into endlessly making sure your wife feels like she's in charge all the time because you think that will make her feel safe. And that makes her feel more unsafe than pretty much anything else that you could be doing right now. And that was a wake up moment for him. That was an absolute, like, earth shattering moment that what I'm doing to be good is actually making her hurt. That was an absolute change for him. Ladies, let me know. Was that a yes or no on that? Right? Give me a yes or no. Is that a man making a woman feel unsafe? No. Okay, no. Saying no, don't know the models and the variables for relationship, for marriage. No, 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 no. I don't know. That's a no. I know, not looking to learn. Yes. Oh, yes, Aisha. You're a yes. I like to hear it. Sounds good. For those of you who don't know, I took the exact variables, the exact blueprint, and the exact skills you need based on my 17 years of marriage myself, based on my years as a licensed marriage and family therapist with a solution-focused approach, by the way, not an emotion-focused approach, so practicality, and based on my years of in attachment science and coaching, and I put them all together into how to build a secure marriage, the exact blueprint your parents should have taught you if they knew how. The exact blueprint for definitively building an amazing, lifelong, monogamous, fulfilling relationship where the husband says, I am so glad to be monogamously bonded to you. Right down here. AdamLeeSmith.com/Black-Friday. How to build a secure marriage. Right now, it is on a very special offer. Courses are up to 60% off if you need that right there. We also have multiple payment plan options, I believe, including Affirm right down there. So make sure that you click that, get your copy of How to Build a Secure Marriage. All those who said no, problem solved. Okay? That's the game. Would you like to join me in hitting the like button? Guys out there, everybody, if you would pump the like button, it boosts the stream and people come flooding in. Tonight, I would love to answer questions that maybe you guys have. Do you have questions about difficulties in your relationships? If you're stuck in a situationship, if you're stuck in a difficult marriage, if you don't know what to do, tonight is a little bit of micro coaching. I'm going to give you the smallest taste of what it's like to work with me for an entire hour. Okay? I had a client wonderfully just yesterday who came in and said, Adam, I've tried to tell my friends what it's like to come into a coaching session with you, and they don't understand. Like, you change everything for me in 1 hour. I come out of here with pages of notes and exact steps of what to do, and my next month goes so smooth, and I can't wait to get back here to get another download from you. Just rapid fire, constant for a whole hour, you guys. It's about 50 minutes. I love hearing that from people. I love that piece. So, micro coaching. What problems do you have that you need me to help you with in the next, let's say, 20 minutes? Here I am. You've got my brain to pick. What do you got, guys? Don't be afraid. Dr. Lindsay, good to see you again. Welcome back in here. I love seeing people come back in. Questions, you guys. Don't be shy. Who has a relationship challenge? Are all of you happily married and in your 90s? Does nobody have a relationship challenge? Nobody's with maybe an avoidant partner? Nobody is maybe afraid of commitment themselves? None of you feel insecure about what you're giving? Every woman out there knows how to build an incredible sexual experience for you and your partner where you get to enjoy yourself and they bond to you more deeply? Every single one of you out there knows how to parent your children to build secure attachment? Hit me with your questions. What do you got? Can't find much on no contact when avoiding on your channel because I don't teach no contact. That's exactly why. I don't teach no contact because what it does is this. You separate and then one or both of you gets an immediate rush of relief because the stress and cortisol is gone, and then it sends a signal that says, aha, I knew I shouldn't have been with you. And then as you separate out, you sever the emotional connection that was there, and then one or both of you end up drifting. So if you want to use no contact to try to reconnect with a human being, no contact almost never works. It is one of the worst strategies, and it really is just designed by gurus who want you to keep coming back to them, so they mess up your relationship by telling you to do something they claim will fix it. Point blank. No contact does not work. That is not a method that actually effectively works. Done. Now, no contact is great if you want to absolutely sever a relationship for life, but that's really not no contact. That is building a boundary. That's what that is. All right, now there's some challenges rolling in. I knew we had some. Carol, I've been with the same man for 3 years. He won't commit to me. Did you talk about commitment on the first date? Have you been talking about commitment continuously as you go and charting it together as a couple and then building toward that vision? Or have you been caretaking him and afraid to give him friction? If you've been mothering him without meaning to, but mothering him, I highly recommend you stop immediately. There's a video on my channel on here on YouTube called 7 Signs That You're Mothering Him. I recommend you go check that video immediately. You probably are reducing the friction in the relationship, and he's with you because you make it too easy. That is usually what women do, is they mother their way out of a commitment, is generally what they do. Not your fault. He should be stepping up, but you probably have made his life way too easy, and that's why you've been together for 3 years with 0 commitment. Helen, I've got so many questions. I'm just going to watch because I don't know what to ask first. I'm with you. It's all good. I'm here when you got something. Hayes, after 2 years with an avoidant, how do I know if this is going to the next level? You should have asked that on the first date. First date, I have a solid foolproof method I use with all of my clients that gets results. First date, hey, I just want to give a heads up. I'm looking for a committed relationship. You don't have to get married tomorrow, but what are you looking for? Let's make sure we're on the same page. Okay, going forward from there over the next 6 months, building continuously toward commitment. At 6 months, you talk about escalating the relationship, but you've already been talking about it all along. So my question to you, Hayes, do you know what your partner's goal is? Do you know what they want? Do you know what their desire is? Do you know how they feel about commitment? Have you had those talks? If they've said things, have you followed up by asking, what does that mean for us? What are your thoughts about us in that regard? What does that mean for our relationship? Have you followed up, or have you mothered them, or fathered them if you're a father, if you're a man? Have you made it so easy and you are terrified to introduce any kind of friction or make them nervous or upset by asking a question that you've spent 2 years catering to them? That's what it sounds like to me. No criticism, but a lot of people do it. Regina, my husband really doesn't know how to be romantic. He grew up in a situation he watched his dad provide, not show any emotional attachment. And you want him to be romantic? Is that the question? Remember that romantic is usually an overflow of oxytocin bonding hormone. It creates a compulsive desire to give affection to the other person. The other person also, you have to make it clear to him in a list of 10 things you find romantic, so that when he is overflowing with that bonding hormone, if he is, that's a problem too, maybe, that he also has an exact list to draw from that he know will make you feel loved. Both of those things need to be true. HSP, partner going into recovery, good. Probably can't negotiate with them till then. Not sure what's next. 100%. It's when someone is deep in the throes of an addiction process, almost impossible to communicate with them effectively because you can't even trust who they will be day to day, even biochemically. Sarah, I want to learn how to use this to help others outside my family and friends. Okay, so what kind of impact are you hoping to have? Are you wanting to be an attachment coach? Are you just wanting to be a therapist? Are you wanting to go out there and just educate people? Are you wanting to one-on-one mentor people like Big Brother, Big Sister program? What kind of impact are you thinking? Aisha, my avoidant keeps making the ultimate decision to leave. However, he comes back. What do I do? When someone walks out multiple times, what you need to do is, number one, be clear that if a man is failing to provide emotional safety, then he is failing as a man, period. A man's job is not to open pickle jars. It's also not to pay bills. Paying bills helps. A man's job is not to protect you from lions. It is, but there's not that many lions roaming the streets anymore. A man's job is to provide absolute safety in 4 key aspects of your life. If a man is not providing all 4 levels of safety, top to bottom, he is failing as a man and failing to do his job. Period. So if he keeps walking out and in and out and in and out and in, and is not only failing to provide those safety levels for you, but is in fact causing more damage and stripping you of safety, my question to you, Aisha, why are you allowing that? And I don't mean to put that on you or say it's your fault, but your life is your responsibility. Your well-being is your responsibility. If there's a man who's stripping away your safety, why are you allowing that? That's my question. And I mean that with respect. Lynn, why do I say with someone who has cheated? Probably, number one, because you are bonded to them with oxytocin and you love them and you have care and compassion for them as a human being. So you don't want to sever the relationship completely because you have hope it can be rekindled. And number two, it's very potentially that you don't think you deserve any better or that other people won't do any better. So there's no point trying to find something better elsewhere. Your brain thinks this is as good as it will get and that you have to cling on to what little you have in a life of scarcity. I love him and I hope it gets fixed. And I also don't actually believe there's anything better else out there. So I may as well just patch up what I have. Those are usually the 2 things that leave someone staying in a relationship. And I'm not critical of people who stay in relationships, by the way. I think that it can be a catalyst for a transformation in the person who did the cheating if they experience an overwhelming, almost religious conversion into a completely different human being in every area of their life, inviting accountability from everyone they know and changing every social pattern they've had and every communication skill that they've had and completely affecting an overhaul of who they are as a human being. Only under those circumstances do I believe that they have, number one, changed and won't cheat again. And number two, only under those circumstances can that relationship actually survive. For the people who stay in the relationship and allow room for that transformation to happen, I have tremendous respect. But it's also very hard, and not everyone can do it. Do avoidants have a heart? Yes, they keep it in a jar in their desk. I'm single and afraid to bring men in my son's life. They are 8 and 7. You should be afraid to bring men into your son's lives, to be honest with you. You should. That fear is appropriate. It is appropriate. You should be concerned about that. Actually, one of the number one most likely people to harm children is mom's boyfriend or stepdad, to be honest with you. It's one of the most common. That said, bringing people in and out and in and out and in and out of their life, look at your new dad every 6 months, also immensely destructive, even if the guy is a good guy. So I'm glad that you have a strong protective instinct over your children. I'm glad you're listening to it. I'm glad that you are protecting your kids appropriately. That is excellent. Well done. You need an exact pattern for who you should introduce and when. I actually think that a person should be dating for a minimum of 6 months and probably more toward 9 to 12 months before they introduce someone to their children. Minimum of 6 months, though, of dating continuously from label formation, right? We are in an exclusive, committed, labeled relationship to when they meet the kids, minimum of 6 months. Sam, I'm a widowed mom. I'm sorry to hear that. I've suffered a great deal of social isolation as it happens. As a result, I find I'm too much for people, especially guys who might come closer with. Basically, feel like I'm learning to human again. I would not look first for men. What I would look first for is female friends. Female friends, you might have to begin with a support group. You might have to begin with a therapist who's more solution focused, not just endlessly processing feelings where you cry on their couch once a week, but a solution focused therapist, a mentor, a religious leader. Begin meetings with a religious leader if you have a religious faith, right? Call up your priest, your pastor, your rabbi, your mom, whoever it may be. Get invested in that. Start up with small groups in your community or in your religious group, hobby groups where you're doing an activity with other people. Begin engaging socially again like this so you get used to being around people, and then begin talking to people there, and then begin sharing not your sad story, but the challenge you're experiencing, how you're overcoming it, what you're doing to overcome it, and what you're looking forward to in the future. That's the proper way of sharing. Otherwise, you're going to be dumping out sorrow, which is what we call trauma dumping. And that makes people confused. They don't hate you because of it. You're not too much. You're confusing because you'll have a large mess of emotions to dump out. They won't know what to do and they'll feel overwhelmed. And that's when they leave. You are not too much. Number one, you're isolated and awkward and you need to get used to it again and connecting to people. And number two, you need to learn how to share more appropriately. All of those. I'm blinded by the intensity of interaction in the dark. 100%, Sim. No, 100%. That is something to grow into. Absolutely. I'm going to take a couple more. Just a couple more. My biggest problem is finding mutual interest at all. It feels like a desert. Are you signaling correctly to people on the first date, actually even before the first date, that you are looking for commitment? If you're walking in trying to just be like, I will be interesting, I will be entertaining, right? That's a problem. If you're walking in like, well, we'll see how it goes, also a problem. Hey, I'm looking for a committed relationship. Are you? Awesome. You are? Amazing. Let's spend some time getting to know each other before we get too serious on that, but it's good that we have that shared goal. Awesome. Tell me more about you. What do you do for fun? What do you do for a living? Who are you becoming? What are you building in your life? What are you working on? How have you grown in the last 6 months? What's been something exciting that you've poured your energy into in the last year? Who are you spending most of your time with these days? Right? Asking deeper questions while maintaining focus on commitment and then learning more about their goals and their principles, their ethics in their life. That's the target. That's the target for a first date. You're looking for primal chemistry on a first date with both people wanting commitment. That's what you're looking for. That's the ticket. I have a 3-date method that I teach people. Clicks. People say, Adam, you're crazy. I would never do that because no one will ever speak to me. I say, come on, you have to give it a try. How has your method worked for you? And they go, well, I'm single and alone at 45. Yep. Okay. Try my method once and see how it goes. They try it. Adam, that was incredible. Like, I felt good. The other person responded. It wasn't a great match, but it was actually a lot better. Right? Second date, their second person. Oh, it was a terrible match, but I weeded it out really quick. I didn't go anywhere. It was fantastic. Third date, Adam, I think I found someone. This has been really great. The third person, they have a second date, a third date. They're rolling through the method, committed relationship. 3-date method works. After 5 years, I just discovered my husband spent the whole first year together, constantly on dating and social sites chatting. He doesn't understand why I'm upset. What are you doing about it? What are you going to do about this? And what is he doing about it? I ask that because a lot of men are pain-based creatures who only learn and change when you create consequences for them. And most women don't create consequences. I was just teaching in my coaching group not that long ago. There are 12 consequences a woman can apply before divorce or breakup. There are 12 levels of consequences a woman can and should be deploying to build urgency. None of them are manipulative, none of them are coercive, none of them are harsh and mean and vicious. It's 12 levels of consequences that you lay out in the relationship to increase the pressure, increase the pain, increase the urgency, so he begins to see and feel a problem. Absolutely crucial that you know how to lay out consequences. If you don't, we've got an assessment and coaching with my team right down here on special for Black Friday. If you guys need help right now, Helen, I've got people coming in with some of the most brutal marriage stories you can imagine. I think the record I've had is somebody came in with 273 affairs in the same relationship. So if you guys are under 273, you're okay. We can still help. Marathiel, glad to see you again. How can an eldest son of 5 boys and a middle child of 5 ever see eye to eye? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely you can. Eldest son wants things their way and middle child usually don't want to be told. Absolutely. Absolutely you can. Birth order, yes, is somewhat formative, but your ability to have a secure relationship is complete across the birth orders. It's really down to, can we have an honest, transparent negotiation where we both agree on a long-term goal that we care about and where we both agree that we will care for the other person as we care for ourselves. And then can we, in good faith, transparently negotiate? That's really what's the important piece here. It's not purely a birth order issue. Yes, there may be personality differences, but secure attachment is universal across the human experience. When to tell him I want marriage? On the first date, actually. How much time to give? 12 months. Both 34. He has 2 little kids. I think he's very avoidantly attached. He fits to a T your teachings. He's there for me, does everything. Okay. Here's how you tell an avoidant partner you want marriage. I want marriage. No, you knew that was coming. No, here's how it is. Hey, do you have 20 minutes just to talk about something? Specific time window. Do you have 20 minutes to talk about something? I am really looking toward the future, and I know that marriage is in my future. Number one, I have 3 key questions to ask you, right? And you acknowledge your heart may already be hammering in your chest. Relax. I'm not here to demand a wedding ring tomorrow, but I am letting you know that marriage is in my future, and I'm hoping it's in yours. So I have 3 key questions for you, and you don't have to answer these right now, but I am going to need a conversation with you in the next, let's say, 48 hours where we do talk about this. Number 1, what is your ultimate goal romantically? Are you looking to get married again and make that connection? Okay. Are you even open to the idea of marriage? Number 2, what would marriage need to look like for you to love it? What would a marriage need to look like for you to love it? Okay. Here's the problem. Most avoidantly attached people have an excessively negative view of marriage as slavery and death. So if you can pitch this to them, their brain begins thinking, are there alternatives to slavery and death? Under what conditions, right? That's a great phrasing. Under what conditions would you love marriage? What would it have to look like for you to love it? And number 3, are you open to a discussion about a timeline in building that if we could build a plan that made sense? Are you open to marriage? What would it have to look like for you to love it? And are you open to us discussing a timeline if we could make it make sense? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Great 4th is how do you feel about prenups? I'm actually immensely for prenups. I think prenups are mandatory for men and women, and they should protect each party both. And they should also define how you're going to be in the relationship, not just how you're going to break up. I think prenups are mandatory, to be honest with you. And I mean that from a protecting women perspective as well, not just protecting men. I think prenups are overwhelmingly important. I think they're non-negotiable. I'm a let's see how it goes with arms crossed. Right. Like, all right, buddy, what are you going to do to me? How are you going to screw up? Go ahead, make my date. Right? Like, yes, that is definitely going to attract securely attached people. Gently poking there. Gently poking, Dr. Lindsay. There you are. How did you count all of those? Count all of what? The consequences? Guys, I have a system for everything. That's how my brain works. I have a system for everything. Everything has to be laid out in an exact protocol or it's not science. I'm not one of those like, oh, I don't know, like, gonna like make something. No, like it's a protocol that is then proven definitively and based on research and neuroscience and everything available in papers, or it's not real. I don't teach down here. When you look down here at my courses and my coaching and my assessments, we don't teach woo-woo methods. We don't teach new age crap, and we don't teach talk therapy where it's endless processing of feelings. We teach exact science with protocols that you can deploy immediately to get the results you're looking for. That is the point of what I do. That's why I don't call it attachment theory anymore. We do attachment science. That's why I'm building the Attachment Institute with my team and my business partners. We are building an institute globally to unify attachment science and show you what works with exact step-by-step procedures. That's why down here, all of my courses you see have exact protocols for what to do. I don't want to be anxiously attached anymore, Adam. What do? The Attachment Bootcamp has an exact step-by-step process to become securely attached. Adam, I don't really understand attachment styles and I don't really like feelings. Can me and my husband get some reading information on how to interrupt patterns right now to stop fighting? The Attachment Style Decoder course, exact step-by-step protocols. Adam, I never learned how to build a loving, intimate marriage. My parents either didn't teach me or it was awful growing up. But I'm with a person now and I want us to get married, or we're married and I want us to stay married. What are the steps? Exact protocols inside how to build a secure marriage video course. Adam, I have an avoidant man and I want to talk about commitment and get him to want to marry me. I want him to be so infatuated with me that he rushes to a jewelry store to get me an engagement ring. How to build a secure marriage, number one, but also how to love an avoidant man. How to love an avoidant man was drawn from that right there, the exact step-by-step protocol. And get this, I had two avoidant men sitting off camera watching me, and I watched them during the course of filming, and they started getting more and more nervous until one of them stopped me between filmings and said, Adam, I think I need to apologize to my ex. I just realized how much she loved me. Do you think it's too late to get her back? Guys, this is exact protocols. If you're a parent and you want to build secure attachment with your kids, secure parenting course right in there. Okay. I don't teach woo. I don't teach new age stuff. I don't teach feelings. I teach science. So there are 12 consequences that you apply through various phases in a relationship before you get divorced. This is a problem that most women unfortunately fall into. And I wrote a book up here, Exhausted Wives, Bewildered Husbands. It's on Amazon because that was the number one dynamic I saw that ended marriages, was a wife who invested 20 years being silent and mothering him and catering to him until a day when she exploded and said, I am done and this marriage is dead and I've been divorced from you in my heart for 3 years. The kids are now grown and I'm out of here. And he says, you never complained before. And she says, what do you mean? We've been miserable for 20 years. And he says, only now am I getting it. And she says, how is that possible? Most women are so deep into mothering their man that they are trying to change him the way a woman would change. Yes, the men should be absolutely attentive and changing. This is not the woman's fault, but both sides have problems. And on the woman's side, she is mothering him so much that he has no urgency to change and doesn't see a legitimate problem or solution. Applying 12 levels of consequences prevents you from exploding out of seemingly nowhere and becoming yet one more story on the red pill subreddit of my wife blew up one day and she's so unreasonable and all women are evil. Imagine if you could fix that. Like a month into your relationship and in the misery and go, oh, let's have a conversation and fix it. Here's some consequences. Here's some discussions. Here's what needs to happen. That's what I'm teaching. That's what I'm teaching. That's the challenge, you guys. All right. I'm going to come back tomorrow night. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to come back tomorrow night at 6 p.m. U.S. Central Time. 6 p.m. U.S. Central Time. I will be back tomorrow night. We'll be working together on fixing more relationship challenges. Okay. I'm over mothering. I love that, Helen. Beautiful. Now let's teach you what to do instead. Because if you just try to stop what you're doing and don't know what else to do, you will sit there miserable until you start mothering again. It is not enough to stop a thing, right? You have to replace. That's what the research shows. So if you need to know what to do, you guys, one more time. Black Friday is almost over. I'm running the special for anyone who still needs it. I don't want anyone to miss out. Okay. Video courses for learning up to 60% off. Coaching with me and my team up to 30% off. Assessments of your skill gaps, experience gaps, what you would need to do with a clear roadmap to overcome attachment issues for life. Right down here. Okay. AdamLaneSmith.com/Black-Friday. You can email me, support@AdamLaneSmith.com. You can contact us through AdamLaneSmith.com on the contact form, or you can DM me on Instagram as @AttachmentAdam. I am here to help.